Joining me now, Republican Congressman Dave Brat of Virginia. Good to see you, Congressman, and I want to start with the breaking news just this hour that Elijah Cummings released this letter. He says there are documents in the possession of the Oversight Committee that appear to indicate, I should say, that Michael Flynn lied to investigators who interviewed him in 2016 as part of his security clearance. If there is evidence of that, and we haven't heard from Chairman Chaffetz yet, but does this need to be pursued?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of qualifiers and ifs in there, and I taught ethics for years, and sure, if the evidence is there, we need to do that. But it is important to note that Alan Dershowitz, a civil liberties Harvard scholar over the years, has said so far there's no evidence that would lead to an indictment of Trump or the administration over the weekend. And so there's a lot of people that report a lot of smoke, but let's just follow the evidence and go in order. And Alan Dershowitz, I applaud him for standing up for the rule of law so solidly.
Well, in February, Politico reported that you said this: there's no allegation of wrongdoing with Michael Flynn when you were asked if you'd support an independent probe into former National Security Advisor's firing. NBC has reported that he is the subject of an FBI investigation. And with all this news today, the allegations of wrongdoing continue. Is there something else to be looked at here in terms of vetting?
I trust you guys. We have a pretty good system in the country. Senator Mark Warner is the head or one of the heads on the Senate Intelligence Investigation. So you have partisan incentives. You've got the mainstream press looking for evidence. And so far, I mean, the New York Times, the Washington Post have been coming out with unsourced documents. So I'm just waiting for show me the evidence. And we're a nation of laws, not of men. Anyone that's guilty is guilty. And if you go back to Comey on the Clinton server, et cetera, he basically laid out felony charges and said you need intent. It turns out you don't need intent. And so I didn't hear the same amount of reporting on the $2 billion in the Clinton Foundation, et cetera, raised some of them from foreign sources. While she's Secretary of State, there wasn't the same aggressiveness. And so let's just wait until the evidence comes in. That's the way the nation's set up. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. We should pursue the law vigorously for every person. But that's just, I think, common sense, the way the American people like to see it.
Do you have a sense of concern, though, Congressman, that so much of this, and obviously if someone who was appointed by the President of the United States, Rod Rosenstein, decided that there was a need for a special prosecutor, there has to be at least some there if he came to that conclusion. We're seeing this, some would say, deluge. You could call it a drip, 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 depending on your perspective. But there seems to be some breaking news with evidence almost every day. How much is this affecting your ability to get done what you want to get done? And how concerned are you about how this is being viewed abroad as the president makes this very important first foreign trip?
Yeah, a lot to unpack in that series of questions. With respect to is there a there, Dershowitz, Harvard, proudly voted for Hillary, says there's no there.
Well, but that's a single comment on a single issue.
Yeah, well,
previously.
He also said,
and he's not obviously the final.
Yeah, you laid out about 40 seconds of questions here, so I'm just giving you a response to what you said. Is there there? He says no.
Well, I didn't ask you if there was any there. What I said was that there was a determination by Rod Rosenstein that there was enough there that he appointed a special prosecutor.
Yeah, that doesn't, specifically with respect to that story, he said there's a lot of people covering their reputations. And he went down the list, and there's too much people covering their reputations instead of providing the there. And that's important to the rule of law. So he said so far there's no there. This is someone who proudly voted for Hillary. Too many people protecting reputations instead of following the evidence. So far we have not seen the evidence. He said there's no statute you can name, and that's what you need to do. So when you got someone of that stature on civil liberties grounds saying no statute has been violated yet at all, that's where the bar should be. He got it right. We all should
So if Alan Dershowitz changes his tune on that, you'll go with him.
Absolutely.
He's your level of who you're going to trust for all things legal.
I trust any of you. If you right now can tell me what statute has been violated, I'm listening. Can you name a statute that has been violated?
I can read to you from the letter from Elijah Cummings if you want to go there, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to get into that
right,
detail. How concerned are you about what you're able to get done on the Hill? How concerned are you about what the president is able to get done abroad?
Yeah, no, that's the key for the American people right now is economic growth. Tax cuts are one means to achieve economic growth that will provide Americans with more median income and more jobs. That's what we're all waiting for. So you're right. The distractions, we need to get away from it. The White House needs to tighten the messaging so that we can move on, finish up health care, go to tax reform, get the economy growing at 3 or 4% again. Kennedy achieved it. Kennedy did supply side tax cuts, lowered the corporate rate, got the economy moving. Reagan did the same thing. The American people are waiting for that. The business sector is waiting for that. If we do that, everyone will be happy again. We can move beyond some of the drama. And that I think, is good news we all agree on.
Congressman Brat, good to see you. Thank you. And if Alan Dershowitz wants to cut a TV ad, we know where he can get some of the sound from.
Thank you.